This is the Bill Cartwright Show featuring Steve Cohen. Our special guest today is Mr. Sam Hill. Sam's a longtime friend, great college player. Uh, and what I really like is the fact that Sam does so much in the community that allows us to operate. Sam, welcome.
Hey,
Great to have you on the show.
always good to see you, man.
Tell me about what it was like for Sam Hill to grow up. I would bet you were a sports kid and really active, just around school, just around people, because you're such a personable person. What was that like growing up?
Man, you know what? Growing up as a kid, Bill, like I told you earlier, I got this Corona weight on. I'm using that as an excuse, but man, I was this tall, skinny kid, man. I remember when I was in 8th grade, I was 6'6", but I weighed about 150 pounds. And you know, my ears. Hey, man. Hey, Bill. Hey, man, my ears used to really stick out. My face is kind of fat now, but man, I had a lot of fun as a kid, and a lot of people don't know this, Bill. I don't know if you know it either, but and you're probably gonna disconnect me when I say this. My idol as a basketball player was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, Kareem. Love Kareem.
Oh man, and I tell everybody I'm the last person that knows how to shoot that hook shot. Bill, you used to be able to shoot a little bit, but I love the George Micah drill, man. And
Yeah.
like I said, as a kid, I was real skinny. I used to eat a lot of Boston baked beans, man, and I used to make my money. They used to call me the pop bottle hustler because at the time I would go to store for old folks, and they would pay me in pop bottles. And so I had this old cart on Thursday and Fridays. I'd be walking to this grocery store called Hillman's Grocery Store, and I'd be walking. These bottles are clicking, and everybody used to laugh at me. But always had Boston baked beans and lemon heads, man. As a kid on Friday and Saturday, watched Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin movies. I was the man, baby.
Now tell me about. Now, did you play a lot of sports, or did you just play basketball?
Now, actually, I played basketball and I played volleyball when I was in high
Volleyball.
school. Yeah, because I was
Wow.
tall. Yeah, so I played volleyball in grammar school and in high school. My coaches, my basketball coach, they wouldn't let me play football because they knew that my boys was going to get me. So nope. But I pretty much was just a basketball player. They used to call me Dr. Hook when I was a kid because I used to shoot the sky hook shot, you know, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And the George Mikan drill was my favorite drill, man. I love Bill. I know you know what I'm talking about. The
I know
George Mikan
exactly what
drill
you're
was my
talking about.
favorite drill. Yeah. So I'm sorry. The George Mikan drill. Okay. You know Kareem. Bill, you can attest to this. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar shot the sky hook shot,
Yes.
and it was a drill. Bill, help me out because you may be a couple months older than I am. A drill. George Mikan played at DePaul in the LA Lakers or whatever. And he had this drill. Some people call it the dot to dot drill because you left hand to dot, right hand dot. But it's the George Mikan drill. I love that drill. Bill, you know what I'm talking about.
George Micah drill is a drill right in the middle of the floor. It allows you to basically shoot with your right hand, take the rebound out of the net or the made basket, and then shoot with your left.
Yeah.
So it's just a great drill to be able to use your right and left hand and develop your hook shot around the basket. And as you get better, your hook you make your hooks actually further out. So you go further out, further
Yeah.
out, further out off the backboard. It's a great drill developed by supposedly George Mikan, but who knows? It could have been Tex Winter. Nobody knows.
I love that drill.
So tell me about some of the better players that you played against in high school, because you were in a great area.
Yeah. I came out of high school in 1982. I played against Ephraim Winters. He used to play for Illinois. Um, Kenny Norman. Uh, Teddy Grubbs was a few years older than me. Him and Terry Cummings was a few years older than me, and Mark Aguirre probably is about 3 years older than me. But we always would play in the parks, in the Boys and Girls Clubs and stuff like that. So, being drafted by Dallas Mavericks and Mark Aguirre was there was a great learning experience for me. But they had so many forwards, man. They had in '87 when I got drafted, man. They had Roy Tarpley, Mark Aguirre, who else? Deadlift Shrimp, Dale Ellis, Sam Perkins. So, it was kind of rough, but it was okay. I had fun.
So as you're leaving high school, how did you decide where you wanted to go to college?
Well, actually, I was a redshirt freshman, and I never thought about going to Iowa State. I thought I was going to go to University of University of Iowa and Bradley. Those are my other two picks. But Iowa State had a special program for incoming freshmen, and it was a blessing, man. I had a chance to play with some really good players. Jeff Hornacek, we played together for 3 years. Barry Stevens, Jeff Grayer, had a chance to go to Sweet 16. So actually, Iowa State really was not on my list of colleges, believe it or not. But they recruited me so heavily. I'm like, oh, this is, because at the time, only good team was in the state, and then was like Iowa, but Iowa State wasn't even on the map. But
So who was the coach then?
Johnny Orr.
So how was Johnny Orr? I know a lot of coaches, but I don't know a lot about Johnny Orr. I really don't. I know his name because he's around so long. So what kind of coach was he?
Johnny Orr, he's been deceased now for probably about 3 years. Johnny Orr was the type of coach, he didn't believe in zone defense. He's a real cool guy, real laid back, told a lot of jokes, a lot of stories. But he wasn't a disciplinary type coach, which was really good for the teams that I played on. So he was one of those type coaches. If you saw a shot, take it, take the shot. So it was good to play for him. Then we at the time that was the Big 8. They call it the Big 12 now. So it was like Kansas and Oklahoma, which was like Danny Manny, the late great Wayman Tisdale was at Oklahoma at the time. So I had a chance to play against some real good players.
So what did you learn as a player when you were there? I mean, because the level was a high level program, high grade conference. What did you need to do to improve your game?
Work out every day. Not take a lot of breaks. Larry Brown, who coached at the University of Kansas at the time, that's who taught me how to shoot the jump shot. Because at Iowa State, we ran a high post motion offense. And the most important thing, I would say, I learned from Johnny Orr was the concept of what it means to be on a team and what it takes to be successful in life. Because at the time, man, Coach Orr had some assistant coaches that he trusted. And he used to take us through the preseason conditioning drills and the early practices. And Coach Orr would just, you could test this. I know you played for coaches like this before. He would let the assistant coaches run the practice. In game time, that's when he took over. And I told him one day, I said, Coach Orr, I said, why do you always let Coach Hallahan do these drills? Why don't you step in? He's like, nah, I said, one day you're going to be a supervisor or director, own your own company. And you got to realize that it takes a team effort to be successful. You have to put people in place to be successful and trust that they're going to do what they're going to do. And like me at Iowa State, I wasn't the top scorer, but my job was to set picks, rebound, get some tip ins, and then early in the game, Jeff Hornacek and Barry Stevens, they would throw me the ball just to get that part of it over with, so I could set picks and rebound for those guys. So we had to understand it. They used to always tell me, hey, Sam, look, we're going to get you the ball early, man, so you can go ahead and get you 10, 15 points or whatever. But at the end of the game, the last 3 games, all we need you to do is set picks, rebound, block some shots, and get to start the motion offense. I'm like, oh, okay. So I was cool with it, as long as I got a chance to shoot it.
So as you left Iowa State, where'd you go?
After I left Iowa State, I played in Europe for about 9 years. I played in Belgium, France, Luxembourg, played in Asia and South America. And the last place I played was in a country called Luxembourg. I stopped playing after that because I was in a real horrific car accident on an Autobahn. But the thing about it is I knew I had my degree, so basketball didn't define me. It was something that I did. So it was cool once I retired. I tried to play a little CBA for a little bit for Cassie Russell. And I was like, nah, I wasn't feeling it. So I was about done by then.
So let me ask you, how was it playing overseas? How was that experience? Different than playing in the States?
It was a great experience. It didn't pay as much money unless you were like in Italy or one of those super country, Greece or Spain or one of those. But I had a great experience. It was great because I'm a people's person. I'm from the north side of Chicago. So the experience of learning different cultures from different countries, be it France, be it Belgium, Argentina, Japan, was a great experience for me. So I really learned about people when I played overseas. I loved it.
What was your favorite place?
A little country outside of Germany called Luxembourg. I,
Oh,
I love Luxembourg. Yeah. Luxembourg was one of my favorite places, and in the Netherlands, I played a town in Holland called Weert, Weert, which is pretty cool. I played some cool places. I played in Bruges, Belgium. That's where Marvin Gaye went into exile for tax evasion way back in the day. When he went overseas, he went to Belgium, and he was in a town that I played in called Bruges, Brugge. So it was really nice.
you said you came back and you played in the what was that? The CBA with Cassie Russell.
Yeah. I was going to play with him at Cassie Russell, and I think it was Columbus, Ohio.
So how was that?
It was, you know what, my by the time I went there, I didn't have the fire. I didn't want to play anymore. I was great in individual drills, but when we went up and down the court, I was terrible. So I couldn't remember the plays, man. I don't know what it was. So I was like, yeah, I didn't have it no more, Bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you were young then, weren't you?
Yeah. I was young. I was like, what, maybe 32? Yeah, somewhere around in there. But I just didn't feel it anymore. It wasn't. I didn't have the fire. I didn't have the desire. A guy named Ed Horton from the University of Iowa was down there with me, and me and him knew each other. And man, we'd have some great drills. And when it was time to go up and down the court, I couldn't remember the plays, man. That was the darndest thing. I told my wife at the time. I said, "Hey, come get me." She's like, "What's going on?" I said, I just don't feel it anymore. And that was it.
So after you get done playing, what are you thinking? What did you, we know you're a people person. So what were you thinking? What did you want to do for a career?
I really didn't know. I really didn't do much for about a year, 2 years. I was doing, little basketball camps here and there, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And a friend of mine worked at this club called Lakeshore Athletic Club. It's on the north side of Chicago. Uh, Asked me did I want to work for the club, and I said yeah. So they asked me to work for Lakeshore Athletic Club, and I was just the gym supervisor. Guys, they had a basketball court. They, just keep the name on the list or whatever. And one day I was talking to one of the owners, and he was like, "Hey Sam, how would you like to do a camp here?" I was like, "Yeah, maybe." He said, "You don't make your money off the registration fee. You make it off sponsorship." And I started my first camp. That's when I really realized that I had a love. I'm sorry, God. That I had a love for working with kids. You know, so I started there at Lakeshore Athletic Club, and after about 3 years, I was the program director, and got married, moved to Indiana, and just doing camps. Everything was camps, and met a lady named Pat Harris, who was the president of the board for Boys and Girls Club, and they were at the time they were looking for executive director. I applied to be the program director, and she offered me the job. And my mentor and a good friend of mine, used to talk to him all the time. I still do. Reeve Story, he used to play for the Chicago Bears. He said, "Sam, why don't you take the job as executive director?" I said, "Nah, I have no experience. I just wanted to just work with kids." And Reeve gave me a lot of advice, what to do, and what type of training to ask for and to do. And I became the executive director for Boys and Girls Club. We thought in the first 3 years we'd have maybe a couple hundred kids. We had 900 kids, man, in 6 months. We blew it up. It was in Michigan City, Indiana. And by the time I left, I had 4 clubs. We had 2 satellite clubs in the schools and 2 brick and mortar sites for Boys and Girls Club when I was there. And that's when I realized I enjoyed working with kids, but actually, and I'm skipping over a little bit, before I became Boys and Girls Club executive, I was territorial manager for Reebok International in team sports. So I had the territory. Anybody that wore Reeboks at the time, that was like in 90, about 92, 1992. And anybody in the state of Indiana and Southern Illinois that wore Reebok, they had to come through me, like the sporting goods stores, the colleges, the schools, all that stuff. So I really enjoyed that job, but I wasn't satisfied. Great money, all the gear, Bill. You know what I'm talking about, free
I
gear.
do.
Oh man, hey, that's good stuff, baby. Like I said, I worked for Reebok, then I started working for Boys and Girls Club.
So after the Boys and Girls Club, where did you go?
Well, I went through a divorce, moved back to Chicago, talked to my mentor, Reeve Story, and he got me to a position to be one executive director for Chicago Urban League at the time. So I was the program director for the male involvement program at Chicago Urban League. So did that for a few years, and at the time, my younger brother Theo wanted to start a youth-based organization because he liked working with kids as well. And we started an organization called MADE, MADE, and we started working with kids in the schools, in the neighborhoods and park districts, wherever we could.
What does that mean? You work for? What did you do exactly?
For the MADE organization?
Yes.
I was the founder. I was co-founder. Yeah, I was a co-founder with my brother Theo. So we started that. MADE is still in existence. Do a lot of after-school program leadership development through sports, through basketball.
And what are some of the specific programs you guys do over there, Sam? And how did you know you and your brother were going to be aligned to accomplish what you wanted to accomplish? What was your brother doing at the time?
My brother Theo was a junior college All-American, played at DuPage Junior College. And at the time, he was playing overseas. So my little brother, Theo, he's like he's my protege, my business partner, my best friend, and my guinea pig, all rolled in one. So Theo really followed my footsteps when it came to basketball and working with kids. And I'm a practical joker. Man, I love to laugh. I really do. So Theo, it was Theo's idea to come up with this organization. I didn't want to do it because I know it takes a lot when you start a nonprofit. So, just getting all that together, we got a nonprofit status, start working, doing after school programs. And the programs that we do is through basketball, teach life skills, leadership skills, the importance of their education, healthy eating habits, and the most important thing, teaching kids to be leaders, not followers. So, it's a lot of fun. It's challenging to a degree that, some of the kids that we work with are, they're not from the best upbringing. And then we got some great kids, straight A kids that really want to do something. But the main thing is we talk about careers and different things like that. Everybody can't play basketball. And then when kids come in, straight out of high school and playing in the AAU circuit, the percentages really go down. So we try to encourage kids that if you dream it, you could be it. Anything in life that you want to be. There's careers in basketball outside of dribbling the ball, but there's also other careers that you could do. Let nobody tell you can't do anything in life you want to do. If you dream it, you can be it.
Could you talk about Chicago nationally is known for being a very tough place, a lot of killings, a lot of gang-oriented activity, and how do you work in that atmosphere, and how do you help change the perception of that community and give people hope?
Well, you got to be consistent. If you're not consistent with doing this, then you're in it for the wrong business, for the wrong reason. Having the passion, knowing what your passion, knowing what your calling is, and kids in this Chicago area. I'm from Chicago. Like I said, I grew up on the north side, which was like a melting pot. We had black, white, Hispanic, Asian, people from other nations. But Chicago's tough. But everybody in Chicago doesn't live that lifestyle. It just happened to be with the economy the way it's been. I think people are really getting tired, and what that means, people are getting a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more desperate. But Chicago, I wouldn't trade living in Chicago for nothing in the world. I love Chicago, especially you get the true 4 seasons, and there's so much to do in Chicago in the summertime. So I love it.
Well, talk a little bit about the Dalton Park District.
Oh, okay. Dalton Park District. Yeah. I recently resigned from the executive director for the Dalton Park District, but Dalton Park District is a great community, to really teach kids, because there's a lot of other villages in the South Suburb. You got Harvey, Markham, Calumet City, South Holland. So it's really a good experience being the executive director when I can make certain decisions on how things should be ran. That's the most important thing, and to be able to help kids.
Which area did that represent?
That's the South Suburb. That's like 147th and like Sibley Boulevard, somewhere around in there.
So about how many kids were that you had in the park district over there?
It's based on the amount of program, but during the course of the year, plus we do our summer camp, probably I would say 3,000 to 4,000.
Wow, that's a lot of kids to have to orchestrate for the summer.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
If you got the right staff to get certain things done, and you know how it is, Bill. Sometimes you got great staff, and then you got staff that are challenging, and you end up doing the job. But overall, great. It's great.
Yeah, I still was disappointed. I never got a chance to hit any golf balls over there.
I know, man. There's a golf range over there, man. It's like a hidden gem over in Dalton, man. If you still got your swing, Bill, I don't know.
Well, I have a swing. I'm not sure it's any good, but tell me about what you're doing now.
Oh, okay. What I'm doing now, my wife and I, Leah, we have a substance abuse agency called Kirby Rehab. Kirby, we do substance abuse treatment, domestic violence, and DUI outpatient programs. So, and we're getting ready to open up 2 additional offices on the south side of Chicago in the Roseville area, which is like 111th and Halsey, which is really tough. A recovery home, a temporary housing for guys who are getting there, trying to get back into the workforce and regain their lives. So I'm doing that. Also, I'm doing a restorative justice program, with high school kids. So most of the things is centered around kids. Whatever I can do to inspire and help our kids. So like I say, man, I'm the biggest kid around next to Bill.
But what motivated you about substance addiction, Sam? Why did that? Did you have a personal experience with it?
No. Thank God I have never had experience with substance abuse. Now, I may have had a couple of drinks, but other than that, that's about it.
So what motivated you to get into that?
Actually, my wife, Leah, she's been doing it for about 20 years. We've been dating on and off for about 20 years. We're currently married. We've been married for about 3 years now. She really has been doing it in the South, on the South side of Chicago. And then I saw what she was doing, and I just wanted to see what I could do to help, bring my resources, uh, my connections, down in Springfield and with different legislators, and getting some people to support that. You know, everybody needs help at some point in their life. And with the pandemic, man, in the shelter in place, let's say you got two parents that's living in the house. You got three kids, uh, and it's virtual learning. You got, two girls, a boy, whatever. So everybody's in the house. Nobody's got a job. Nobody's going to school. So what happens is domestic violence it skyrockets. It is skyrockets. They haven't said anything about it, but domestic violence has skyrocketed, and substance abuse rehab has, flown out. It's shot through the sky because people have nothing to do, be it uh, medicine or what I'm saying, illegal drugs or legal drugs. It's a big epidemic.
And yeah, how has your work been affected by the pandemic in general? You can't really meet with people. Have you been Zooming with them or?
And I hate them Zoom calls, man, because you never know, man. This thing may blink out. You never know what's going on. So been doing that. Also helping with the U.S. Census, get that together. Most of what I've been doing is really finding the right partnerships for my wife and I agency. So been pretty busy.
I was going to say Chicago is an area, obviously, that brought us Jesse Jackson, Harold Washington, Bill Cartwright, Barack Obama. And what are those? Obviously, the success of the Bulls, the Bills teams on the Bulls, and what is that meant for Chicago and the kids that you work with, that they could look up to people like them and a lot of the great examples that come out of Chicago?
Yes, it's tons of.
How have you used them as inspiration?
Well, being consistent, because a lot of these kids, and it's not just Chicago, it's all over. But just being consistent with the kid, talking to them, that's important. Don't talk at them because they'll they'll clam up. They won't talk to you. So give a kid a chance to talk. See if there's a way, if there's a certain connection that you could help that kid with. I think is real important. And giving a kid structure and discipline has always worked for me.
How about some of the local musicians that are in town? Have you had any connections with them?
What with the local musicians?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Currently, I'm working with Common. A lot of the guys I work with now or try to communicate are the younger guys. Chance the Rapper, who's really big in Chicago. Chance actually collaborated with the agency called Social Works. So just getting those guys. It's another gentleman, not Chance the Rapper. Common. Who else? I can't think of the name of them. But just talking to those guys.
But Chance the Rapper seems to really put his money and time where his mouth is, right? With schools and everything he does. Tell us about him.
Oh yeah. Chance the Rapper. He's a great young man, but he leads by example. He puts a lot of his money into the schools. He does a lot of charitable work for I think it's called Social Works. He does a lot of stuff with them, and that's Feed the Hungry in Chicago. We have a large homeless population, so Chance is very engaged with that organization. It's called Taste to Feed the Homeless, and they do a lot of great things for the homeless population here.
Now that's still going on, right?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, you met the gentleman, Michael Earhart. We had lunch, me, you, and Craig when we came out there that time for the golf outing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know those guys put a lot of time out there. They're out there personally,
Yeah.
making sure everybody's getting food and supporting them. So I think it's really remarkable that that there's actually a lot of people out there, volunteers as well, just supporting people and helping people.
Yeah. Man, it's such a tough time right now, man. And even if you can just do a little bit to help someone out. And I tell people, once this pandemic, once with the vaccine really starts to kick in, like around spring, summertime, man, these kids they're gonna want to get out. So as leaders, we got to have programs ready for when the world starts to open a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So we got programmatically, we got to be ready for that.
Yeah, it is a tough time right now, but to me, it takes that kind of leadership that you're providing.
Thank you.
Is invaluable. And I've always admired, because it is a pretty huge thing to my life. And actually, one of the reasons why I came back to USF is because it's just serving people. It's just helping people that need help. And it's just having that basic understanding. There are people that need help.
Yeah.
And if you could do that, if you could help one person in your life, we're good to go.
That's true.
But just helping people, everybody needs help in their life. And
man, it really makes me feel so good. I don't know what it's strange. I wouldn't say it's strange, but I guess it's spiritual, whatever. But to be able to help people in need, and I can do that, man, that means the world to me. This summer, when the pandemic first started, it was so many people that need something to eat that I'm involved. I send a couple charitable organizations where we pass out so much food, and to see the lines, it's like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? But it's such a great feeling to be able to help people, like you said.
Yeah. But just to have that understanding of how important it is the first step. That and then go on and put yourself out to just go ahead and do it. It is something that you can't measure. But Sam, thank you so much. Very, very pleased. Happy to see you. Like I said, you're looking good, pal.
Hey, Bill, it's always great to see you, man.
Yeah, and when I get back out to Chicago, we're gonna go out, we're gonna get some food. Hopefully you would have paid that parking ticket by then. I don't know. We got to get a check for you somehow.
Hey, man. Hey, I think I paid that, man. I paid it off.
Well, you're good to go. Well, Sam, thank you so much. Yeah, awesome.
Thank you, man.